To begin Unit 4, we're talking about the difference between physical and chemical changes. So remember from Unit 1, we said that a physical change is a change in the form of a substance, not its chemical composition. And a chemical change is one in which a given substance becomes a new substance or substances with different properties and different composition. So there's not very many notes for this, so you might need to take some extra notes. Physical changes are changes between intermolecular forces. So when you are breaking the ion forces to maybe change the state of matter that something's in. So like melting water from ice would be an example of a physical change. And that's because there's still water molecules, they're just arranged differently. So that's the main thing that we need to know, that physical changes are breaking intermolecular forces. Chemical changes are when you create new substances. So oftentimes you're breaking intramolecular forces for chemical changes. So that would be like the ionic bond or the covalent bond that's holding things together. When you have a chemical reaction, we have some evidence to show that. So we have 4 different things. So we talked about this in Chemistry 1. So this is review. The first evidence would be a transfer of energy. So, and that energy could be in the form of heat or light. So maybe we see a temperature difference. So maybe it's going to be an endothermic or exothermic reaction. Or possibly it's a combustion reaction. So there it gives off fire or light. Magnesium burning. I think I did that last year, but I'm not sure. I can show you. I might put a video up on its learning. Magnesium, when you burn it, it creates this very, very bright light. And so that would be another example of a transfer of energy. Formation of a gas, pretty simple and straightforward. If you ever see fizzing or bubbling, or, you know, a smoky type of substance, that would be formation of a gas. Formation of a precipitate, remember that a precipitate is a solid that's formed from a chemical reaction. And it could be chunky, it could like solidify and you could really see it, or it could also be cloudy. Because if it's cloudy, that means that there are just particles that are floating around and they just haven't settled together yet, but they're very, very, very small solid particles in your solution. And last but not least, color changes. Colorless to white or cloudy would be an example of that. Or also when we do acid-base titrations, which we'll talk about that this unit, we use the indicator to tell us when we have reached the equivalence point. So when we do our titration and it starts out as clear and it turns to pink, we've done that before, that would be another example, because the only way, it's a chemical reaction happening, but the only way for us to see it is by adding that indicator so that we see the change happening. So all of that is review from Chemistry 1. This is a nice short sweet video. If you have trouble with this, then let me know, but hopefully this will be a pretty simple part to our beginning of our Unit 4.